Several years ago, a friend gave me this book, 1001 Comics You Must Read Before You Die. And at that time in my life, I was getting a little tired of just reading superhero comics, and this is exactly what I needed. I discovered that there were comics from all over the world that I'd never heard of before, and stuff dating back over 120 years. This was an eye-opener for me, and I'm going to share some of my selections that I consider some of my favorite comics that I found thanks to this book. So I hope that you join me and give some new comics a chance. You might be surprised at what you might like. Today's book comes from the 1940s, although its origins start much earlier than that. Little Lulu began as a newspaper comic panel that appeared in the Saturday Evening Post by Marge Buell. And it was about a mischievous little girl, an outspoken mischievous little girl who actually in the comic strip didn't speak. And it's popular enough that Paramount produced a series of animated cartoons in the 1940s. And to coincide with the cartoon, Dell Comics licensed the character to create comic books starring Little Lulu, and they handed it over to John Stanley to write and illustrate. Now, John Stanley is one of those names that comes up a lot if in the circles of Golden Age comics. He was very prolific. He did thousands of pages of comics, but Little Lulu is kind of his best known work. And it's because he took the character and he turned it into not just a standalone gag character, but a very endearing little girl who tries to exist in a world dominated by boys. John Stanley created a whole cast of characters for Little Lulu to interact with. They were mostly all boys, and she would have to compete for a spot in their special boys-only club and that kind of stuff. She's very mischievous still and got into a lot of antics and adventures, but always kind of came up on top. She was the character who was smarter than all of them and could out-talk and outwit anybody. And very, very charming. There is so much to love about these. And for that reason, Little Lulu has been reprinted many, many times over the years. But then recently, Drawn & Quarterly has done a set of 3 books. It's not all of Little Lulu, but it's kind of the best of Little Lulu by John Stanley. And this is the first volume. It's all in color, and it's reprinted in actual comic book size. And these are the best stories. They've done a really great job of curating all of the best of Little Lulu. So if you just want to sample, pick up any one of the 3 volumes. They're really, really great. This is Little Lulu by John Stanley, published by Drawn & Quarterly.